I had a sudden realization last night that I was not really inspired despite my claim of having 6 months worth of content just kind of waiting in the winds, just in my Trello board. I wasn't really feeling inspired for the video that I was going to do next, so I asked a lot of my followers on Twitter as well as Instagram and my email list to just send me a bunch of questions that I want to answer in this video. So I have my tea, I have my nice piping hot tea, I have an orange to keep myself hydrated, and I have a new stuffed plush thing. I don't like humanoid like plush things. I don't, they're weird. I don't like the way that they kind of like look with their eyes and everything, but I have a Paopu fruit here for you guys. That was really cute. And yeah, let's just get into it. My first question here, excuse the kind of like wiggling that you might see, is from Miss Rachel, and she's wondering if I could share a time that I failed and how I handled the situation. And it doesn't necessarily have to be tech related. Is this an interview question? Is this a test? I fail at a lot of things. I am somehow failing to feel like this video is is going to be good to put it up on my channel. So that's fun. I have been in my first year as a Java software engineer, and oh my God, I just feel like every single time that I'm like need to ask a question or needing just like some type of help, there just feels like I'm at this kind of crossroads where like I feel like I've tried as much as I can to the best of my ability to make sure that I'm doing the work to like solve the problem myself, but it's just like, it's right there. It's right there. I feel like there's a little bit of like tiny piece of information that I feel like I'm not getting. So it just feels like I am not smart enough or good enough to like actually be a developer. And I think that I've like questioned myself about that like hard this like last year. So, anything specific that I've like failed with? I feel like I have failed myself a lot with like my productivity habits in some ways in 2020, where I felt like I was super good at, again, like being able to ask for help when I needed to in tech and be able to study and do this and do that, but just I didn't want to do anything else. I really just didn't want to do and kind of like be and just kind of sit in the situation that we're in to just kind of like be in my feelings, and you know, sought therapy for it. I've been on the therapy couch for more than, gosh, maybe like 3 years. I probably said something like it's more, it probably is more, and I just forgot. But yeah, I feel like I'm failing all the time when it comes to being a coder, and that's totally okay. That's totally acceptable, but it is kind of subjective when it comes to your performance at work, depending on the conditions that are going on. And I can say with very good clarity and oomph in my chest that I did what I was able to do with the circumstances that I had in 2020. And so I think that that is a good way to kind of put myself to feel a little bit better and be mindful of the decisions that I make and being able to go on with my life. Oh, she would also be interested in hearing about how I remain confident. The secret is do it anyways. You're not gonna always feel confident about like anything that you do ever. Like, again, I'm putting up this video and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, who's actually gonna watch this video? Like, why? Who cares? And that's something that you're just gonna have to kind of live with and understand that that is something that is all in your head when it comes to that anxiety or fear of being able to make the steps towards your goals that make you uncomfortable. It's all about pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone and just doing it, and be okay with being uncomfortable, because that is how you're going to grow, and that's how you're going to be able to thrive in whatever you do. So hopefully that helps. Thanks, Rachel. Mr. Cody has asked me, thank you very much, I appreciate you. that if I could retire comfortably right now, what would I do first? I would most likely run away from the States, move to Tokyo, and would probably not come back. I have had this like dream of living outside of the States for a while, and I haven't even visited any country like outside of the States. And unfortunately, because of the panty, I had a trip planned to Tokyo for the Olympics, and that was like completely botched. So a lot of wasted money, unfortunately, for what was going on there. But I have recently started replanning my vacation to go there, so I'm very excited about that. But I would probably like transform this channel into like what I'm doing as just an expat in Japan. Maybe like fly to Thailand or Mexico eventually and like do some fun stuff there. I would probably also be streaming a lot more video games. Mr. Ryan has asked, what is the best gift that you have ever received? I know who this is, and I know what you want me to say, and I definitely have loved some of the recent gifts that I have been given. One of my dear friends had given me this like representation of, if you guys have watched The Legend of Korra, I absolutely love that show. That's one of my favorites. He got an artist to commission like my face as the avatar, which was really cool. But that is not my most favorite gift. I am so sorry to you. I think the best gift that I have actually been given was my boyfriend had actually decided to send me just a very random package of, I think it was a 36 count of the natural white cheddar Cheetos Puffs. And it was a huge box, and I didn't realize that he was going to like get that to me. I was eating a popsicle when I had first like seen the package, because they had to like bring it up to me, and we were FaceTiming while I was opening it, and so I didn't realize that it was just gonna be Cheetos after Cheetos after Cheetos. And then I had opened up like the other box that was in the box, and he got me a bunch of Kingdom Hearts stickers. So I was really very elated about that, and that I think is one of the best gifts that I've like ever gotten. So I think that the Korra picture was about the second best, so I'm so sorry, but that's the best gift. The next question that I have is from Chris. Thanks so much for doing this, for submitting your question, is what are the best ways to get a remote job? It's my prediction, again, this is only my opinion, and I can't say that it's like worth a damn because I'm not a like career like jobs expert, that you're going to see that it's easier to get a remote job now that companies have seen that not only that their employees can work from home, but work successfully from home. I can't not see that people, especially these companies out here that are technology, IT related, are not going to have you potentially working remote. But that also just, you need to do your research. It really depends on what company that you're wanting to go for. And that is okay to try and negotiate when it comes to accepting an offer. And you shouldn't just be negotiating your salary. You should make sure that if this is a job that you really want to have and you're not necessarily able to get that dollar amount that you're wanting, definitely see if you can get an offer somewhere else. But if you're really wanting to work for the company, what about potentially negotiating for what they can do to kind of, you know, close the gap for the monetary discussions? Ask if you can work remotely. Ask if you can only come into the office 1 or 2 days a week. That's going to depend on your experience and what you can bring to the table, but I do think that it's going to be much easier to get a remote job now that we've been in this panty for more than a year. So good luck to you, and I hope that that was at least somewhat answered for your question. I really hope that I don't botch your name. Please excuse me. Oluwasu Midotun. I really hope that I said that right. Please correct me if I didn't. With your experience in tech, what is your dream job? Trick question. I don't have a dream job in tech. I say this with confidence because I do like what I'm doing as a programmer, but I also have been very undecided on whether or not I truly want to be a front-end developer or a back-end developer. And I've been kind of like very jack of all trades, master of none, in the middle as a full stack developer. I don't live to code. I really don't. And especially with my experience over this past year, it just makes me realize like how much I want to do so many other things involved in the tech industry as well as not involved in the tech industry. For example, making sure that I'm able to educate you guys in tech on some more casual things instead of just tech interviews and just learning how to code and things on this channel. I don't know what it is about like the career mindset in America where it's like you live and you die at this job, and that is like, that's scary. I don't want to have to like be at a company for like a decade, 2 decades, like working there for what, 50 years? Why? And just like only like going to work and then like doing that labor and then getting paid for it and going, why? When people talk about their like dream jobs, I know that there is that like work-life balance that I'm sure that people are also talking about when it comes to those tech careers, which is great. But I can't see myself like having like a dream job in tech. I would love to see myself in a position where I am working remotely. I am working wherever I want to. I have nice, comfortable 6-figure salary position where I'm able to have a bunch of benefits where I can go on vacation and do things that I like and still be able to maintain this channel and my business, and also make sure that I'm still educating people in some ways within the company and outside of the company. So being able to have that kind of like symbiotic relationship without making it so where I have to choose between the two. Also, I really don't like being on call. I like either way, as a software engineer, you're gonna have one of those positions where you're gonna have to resign yourself to a call in the middle of the night because something is wrong and you have to fix it, and fuck that noise. I do not believe that that is a part of my parameters of a dream job, and it will never be a part of my parameters for a dream job. So Thanks for the question. One of my other friends, Emma, had asked me, how do you hook your mic up to your phone as your camera, and what do you record with? Just like normal like iPhone video? I'm gonna put this down actually and let you guys see. This might shake a little bit, but I have this microphone, and there's of course like the wire coming out of it, and you can't see it from this angle, but it is like attached to a couple of other wires that ultimately are connected to my phone. And then of course like this needs to stay charged, so it is connected to my MacBook via this like very complicated, I don't know if you guys can see this like what the fuck is this? This like extender, I guess, like this external, because it's not a hard drive. It's like this external like insert thing. I don't know. But I do just record these videos on my iPhone, and so it's a very lengthy process. I really need an editor, so make sure that you guys subscribe and hit that notification bell so I can finally get monetized and start actually paying for an editor. That would be really nice. What is the difference between a software engineer and a software developer? I think the biggest one is the tier of experience whenever I'm kind of like going into interviews and actually like seeing what's going on for the degree of experiences that like companies are looking for. I was a software engineer for QA testing as a QA engineer, and I have been a software developer as well as a software engineer in tandem in my current job position. But the way that I've seen it is that it depends on the degree of experience that you have when you're applying for jobs. It can be interchanged, but like if we're getting into the nitty-gritty details, when it comes to engineering, like the actual word engineering, you're going to be involved with a lot of making and writing and designing the architecture of whatever software that you're making. And that is what the engineer is going to be more likely to do than like with a developer that is going to actually be like executing whatever that architecture structure is. And again, this is only what I have heard of and what I have researched and what I have understood when it comes to my experience with interviewing. So I can't say that there is a huge degree in difference because job titles can be very fleeting and they do matter in some ways. They do matter, but you'll see those interchangeably a lot. But there are little technical degrees to that. So thanks for your question. That's all I think that I have this week, and I will see you in the next video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and have a good week.